you're sending out a signal somehow. You're sending out a signal which has a very positive end here. Hi, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is the monthly general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whichever area of your chart you're wanting to look at. And if you're not familiar with your chart, there is a link down below in the description where you can get a free birth chart. It's really important to know your moon and your rising sign, especially your rising. If you watch these sort of readings, you should always watch your rising sign as well. In ancient astrology, your rising sign was the more important one, more than your sun sign. So also down there in the description is a link to the Facebook group where you can communicate with me directly, and also I'm doing readings now, so if you want to get in touch, feel free. Now, regarding the reading, since it's a general reading rules apply. You know, roles can be reversed, timing's not absolute. I can be talking about somebody else and meaning you. I can be talking about you and it's actually somebody else. I just see the actions or the energies, really. So on that matter, gender is not specific either, because it will be masculine and feminine energies rather than people. Where my readings are different is they come as a job lot. Some readers do spreads where they have the freedom to say, take what resonates and discard the rest. Mine, I have a past and a present in the spread. If the past and the present don't fit, the reading's not for you. You know, it's just simply not for you. If the past and the present do fit, then, yeah, listen to the whole lot, take it on board and see what you think about it. Because that's the point of these readings. It's to stimulate thought. The guidance doesn't come from my words. The guidance comes from your reactions to my words and your analysis even of those reactions that you have. So if that makes sense. The other way my readings are different is I would like you to ask a question. So pause the video if you need to. Just spend a moment thinking about all the questions that are going around you at the moment. Focus on one of them. Basically, by concentrating on it, energy in, energy out. But be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they please. You know, as simple as that. They'll answer what they want. And not necessarily what you or I think is important. Now, obviously, like as a YouTube channel, please press subscribe. Comment down below if this means anything to you once we've got through into the reading. And on that note, I might as well bring up the cards. Let me change cameras. Here we go. So, at the moment, you're feeling in conflict, Libra, which is interesting because there's some really good cards going on here. But we have, for how you're feeling, the Five of Swords. Feeling dejected, feeling like there's feeling almost like the conflict is over, which I've been getting this from the Five of Swords for a couple of times recently, that I don't want to be going on with this fight anymore. And this is clarified by the Great Bear and the Seven of Swords, because there's a plan that you're putting into motion at the moment. But they seem to be quite weird feelings to be having while you're setting this plan into motion. But I do believe that things have calmed down for you. What I'm seeing first is that there was some source of anxiety. I'll get onto the clarification card soon. But an offer was made to you, and once that offer was made, whether you've accepted it or not, once that offer was made, things started moving really, really fast. And they started moving really, really fast for the better. We have the Ten of Cups here, which, as you know, is second only to the Sun for Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy card. So you're planning on building on that at the moment, but it's not quite the right time to act. This is what I'm getting. I do feel that there's more things that you need to know, more things that you need to learn before you can fully bring things into balance. And don't worry, soon enough, once you learn whatever it is that you need to learn, and I do feel this is something that you need to go and research. You need to look it up in a book, you know, or Google it, or, you know, whatever. Find out through conversation. There's some piece of information that you need to learn and that you need to be searching for. So I'm assuming you know what this piece of information is. But once you have that, things start taking off, even though you've got to rely on yourself here. Once the information comes into you, things start really taking off, and it's almost like all the different parts of you are aiming for the same goal. You know, it's if you remember, there was an old British, it was either in the Beano or the Dandy, comic strip called Numbskulls, which were little creatures that lived inside this one fella that lived in a house. And one was his anger, and one was his joy, and one was his sadness, and one was his sense of duty, and all sorts of different numbskulls for different purposes that were driving the body around in a little control booth up in his skull. And it's almost like all the numbskulls together are going, we're going this way. You know, there's which is a burden that you will be taking on board. But with balance, you're sending out a signal somehow. You're sending out a signal which has a very positive end here. So let's look at the clarification cards. Let's look at this offer. Okay, so this offer was on the back of some quite heated discussion. I don't want to go as far as conflict. But we've got the Five of Arrows, Five of Wands here, so same card twice, clarifying this Page of Cups. Now, I do get the sense of offer rather than new dream or anything like that. And it's an offer that sort of made you go, what? So whatever that discussion was, I think that conflict is still going on inside of you with this Five of Swords. And there's maybe something that you have yet to add to the mix out of your own knowledge or out of your own wants, needs, wishes, for you to turn around and go, yeah, but actually, folks, that's close to what I want, but I want to do it this way, or I want to do this as well, or I want us to go in this slightly different direction, whatever it is. But once that offer was made, things started, you had to balance quite a bit yourself and refuse other options, Okay, so whatever this offer was, I think it came and swept you off your feet, and you didn't necessarily get a chance to go, hang on a minute, let me think about it, because I think it's pulled you along, the effects of this offer. Whether you took the offer or not, the after effects of this offer being made and being settled, whether it's refused or accepted, pulled circumstances along that you didn't necessarily get time to, your feet barely touch the floor, I think. But having said that, yeah, it's been really fast recently, hasn't it? Eight of Spears here, Eight of Bows here. That speed has carried on, but you were happy with it. You found some form of emotional resolution for it, so you started making plans to build upon it. To build upon it in quite a substantial fashion. You were taking, we've got Six of Bows here, so Six of Wands, so victorious fashion. But also I feel that six-pointed star that is within it, to me, is representing the six directions. You know, left, right, front, back, up, down. So it's a complete project that you are wanting to set up on, although it's distant. It's you know that it's a long way in the future, and you may have received some assistance with this. That maybe the assistance is the thing that you're not really that sure of. But yes, you need to go learn. You need whatever it is, find out this fact, whatever it is. And to a point, yes, you will be swimming upstream, but you're going to be swimming upstream quite gracefully. But there's something that you need to know when to cut out and when to turn around and say, yeah, no more now. I'm not having this anymore. Or you're not doing this anymore, or you just, even if it's dropping a person, dropping a job, dropping a task. Once you drop that task, and that might be what the information you're waiting for that you need to find out is, so that you can isolate what thing that you want to drop out. Because we have this Eight of Cups here where you were turning away from all the many options. So the Eight of Cups can be walking away from a dream, but in this Eight of Cups, there's the character is walking away from 7 of them. So walking away from the 7 of Cups, walking away from the many options. Admittedly, you can say she's walking away from that one as well, but it's almost like that one's been put to one side to save for later, whereas the others have been refused. So this is something where you're going to be working pretty much on your own. So maybe what you're cutting out is that other person's assistance, the one that you weren't too sure about. But that means that you are taking on, that makes sense. That means that you are taking on quite a burden, but you are going to be manifesting. But there is a danger that you can be locking yourself into this. So you have to examine carefully and make sure you find out whatever it is that you need to find out before you cut out whatever it is that you're trying to make the decision. I've got to cut something out. What's it going to be? Or someone out. Who's it going to be? Let's see what this Devil card is saying. Come on, cards. Bear with me. This is why I don't shuffle on screen, because it takes ages. Oh, here we are. Oh, right. So, oops. Just repair my spread. Strength and the Six of Pentacles with Vine and Amy. Builds towers or destroys stone walls, causes rough waters, finds witches. And Amy, whoever knew there was a demon called Amy, teaches astrology and liberal sciences, reveals hidden treasures and brings excellent familiars. So, whatever this... right, that makes sense. Whatever this fact is that you know, and this other fact that you've been keeping to yourself, combine so that you know who it is or what it is that you need to cut out. And you will need your strength to cut that thing out or cut that person out. It's something that once you make that decision, you need to stick to. So be careful that you are doing it on the basis of the information and not on your emotion. Not just... You may find that there's like 2 or 3 people that you... one of them you need to cut out and you don't know which one, and you're hoping it's the most irritating one, and I've got a sneaking suspicion it's not. So, if that makes sense to you. But it is something that you are quite capable of balancing and quite capable of... Oh, this is nice. Once you've done that cutout, once you've used your strength to declare the victory, once you've combined these 2 facts, the one that you've been keeping to yourself and the one that you've had to go and find out, the balance becomes a lot easier. You begin to see reflections of whatever it is that you're trying to bring about in the world around you. All of a sudden it just gets easier, and by it getting easier, because that's the Lover's card there, and by it getting easier, you are sending a signal out to the world of something that is definite, something that is grounded, something that is material. It's not just pie in the sky, it's not just dreams, it's not just you sat on the end of the bar saying one day I'm going to do this. It's you sat at the front of some event going, come inside and look what I'm doing. There's it's something that you are going to require persistence with, but it does open up a lot of opportunities for you. And it's this is where you start using your guidance. Those two facts, those are, they're facts. But there's also an element of guidance. So when you find this second fact out, the one that you had to research, that's your cue, that spirit turning round and saying, right, now, go. And this opens up a whole world of opportunities for you, one where you'll be finding an inner light that you wasn't aware that you had, and sharing that light with others, which is what I was saying. Whatever you are working on here, the culmination of it, once you've cut this one personal thing out after the two facts, is you are sending a signal out. You are sending a signal out which is okay, which is a cause for celebration, which is love, which is a dream, but it's also, it's not just love. There's an element of tough love. We've got the Two of Swords here as well. And what I'm really feeling from this Two of Swords is that these two parts of the same being are trying to discipline one another, which indicates that balance. So this is why you're being called to use your strength to master your emotions up here, so that you can really bring this dream and this love into being and not cut out the wrong person or thing. Now, before I get to all this bit, during the Oracle card shuffle, a few jumped out, which makes sense now. Being in the flow. I am in the flow of the universe. Well, with this amount of 8 of Wands, yeah, you're in the flow. Things are moving fast. 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands, and going on to the Chariot here. So things may have halted, slowed briefly. It's not going to last. But we have Erikura, who turned up in the last reading as well, which was for Virgo, and I had to go look her up. She's a Germanic and Celtic deity, and very much a Mother Earth figure. But on this, Doreen Virtue's Goddess Guidance, it's Erikura with blossoming. You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up. Echoing the message of that Strength card. Mountains, stand your ground. I'm not convinced that you've quite yet declared what your ground is, because circumstances come and pushed you along. And Lotus Flower with unfoldment. This is a time of you bringing something into being that you are supposed to be bringing into being. But I also get, despite all these speed cards, I do get the senses that there's no hurry. Because this anxiety in the past seems you've set your sun on a dream before, and that was a dream working with friends somehow, and it turned a bit horribly wrong. And you're wondering, is it all going to go the same this time? Which is maybe why you haven't fully committed to this offer when it came through. So in the past, you'd been given a commitment which promised wish fulfillment and something that you were bringing into the real world. But although you had a harvest from it, you were left pretty much alone and feeling impoverished by the whole experience. But my God, you learnt so much at the time. But that was what was leading into this anxiety, because in the past you'd worked with friends or what have you, and then it'd all gone horribly wrong. So how other people are seeing, someone around you is willing to make a commitment to you, and they believe that you're committed to something which I would assume would be this offer. You know, they're assuming that you are committed to this offer, but they're aware that you do carry a pain within you. And I am wondering whether they are persevering with this, 9 of Wands, to try and give you something to replace what you lost before. Not even replace, that's the wrong word. Whatever caused the anxiety before, when the working with friends and people made you throw your hands up and just go, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore, this is pointless. Because I think with that 3 of Cups, I think what that 3 of Cups is basically telling me is people are useless. And you walked away with this idea of people are useless. And so when this recent offer came to you, the reason you've not committed is because you are carrying that belief from the before experience of people are useless. No, they're trying. They really, really are trying. I wish my camera would actually focus. They really, really are trying. Let's see if I can get it to... That's better. Right. So, what you're concerned with is that the work will go for nothing. You'll be left on your own and almost like left to rot, that you won't get the recognition that you require. And it's still not focused, has it? That seems to be something that I don't think you really need to worry about this, but you've still got to marry two facts. One that you've been hiding and one that you've yet to find out. That's the signal that everything starts cracking on at that point. But the future, this is a crop that will take time to harvest. This is options where, yeah, you can spend time going, oh yeah, but nothing's happening. Again, reinforcing that sense of, do I really, really need to commit? And no, you've got to allow that time to pass. Things will move fast for you, but the results, because I get the impression that things are constantly changing here around you, but the results that you're setting into motion now, they're going to take a bit of time, but they're going to be well worth it, since we finish with the Ten of Cups here. So let's have a look at the Oracle cards. Right. The Guardian Angel of Spiritual Growth. I'm not lying. Let me hold this up to the camera for you, and maybe that will make the camera focus. No, it hasn't helped, has it? The energy is gaining momentum. The masculine, which represents the moving forward, it's sort of the moon god rather than the moon goddess. Very magical. You are in a magical time at the moment. You are dispelling illusions or using illusions to your advantage. But this is a time of creation with that null or emptiness. Intuition and manifestation. I don't need to explain that one really, do I? Spiritual partnership. So whoever's bought this offer to you, you're working with somebody, whether it's the person who bought you the offer or whether it's somebody else, because there is somebody willing to make that commitment with you. Wide open. So you have to not be driven by your emotions and be open to whatever this information is that comes along. And like I said, you may know that you need to cut somebody or something out, but the most irritating one is not necessarily the one that you're cutting out. The Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. That's nice. But again, goes in that vein of the unfoldment, the manifestation that you're creating here. Your guidance is divinely guided with Akasha. Again, with these two star cards, you're sending a signal out, but you're receiving guidance as well. Nike, victory. Sedna with abandonment. Now, I think this is referring to this where you abandoned a dream in the previously. And you would argue, from the feelings that I'm getting from these cards, that you didn't abandon it, the others abandoned it, and so you went stuff it. Well, no, you abandoned it as well. You know, by the very act of going stuff it, you abandoned it as well. Talking of cutting things out, I release all that no longer serves me. But you have plenty to work with, and with that burden you do, but you have everything that you need at the moment. You have the clarity coming in for you, the light to show you the way. And I do believe that there is an altruistic force that is around you, this person that's wanting to make the commitment to you. You can say that, you can say that the hostilities are dissipating. Okay, so it's almost like the, whereas dissipating can mean a very depleting card, I feel like all this stuff in the past, the the loss, the anxiety, the betrayal, the hostilities. That's what's dissipating, and also that internal conflict. That's what's dissipating. And we have, from the Witch's Oracle, Tarot Cards and Guidance, so I don't really need to explain that one, because, hey, you're watching this video. But yes, there's guidance all around you, so take advantage. Because you have been in the role of the Gatherer, getting all the bits together. Look at the skills in this Magician card here. Look at the skills that you got when you went through this last time. I know it all ended poorly. Let's say poorly. I don't want to say horribly. That's probably not fair to say horribly, but poorly, because people are useless. But you're now got some folk around you, or someone around you, who isn't useless. So whoever it is that you need to get rid of, I don't think it's them. That's it. That's the lot. So yeah, good luck with this. It will take time. That's all I can say, is it will take a bit of time, but you stick on this path once you've got those two pieces of information, the one that you've not admitted to anybody and the one that you've still yet to find out. Things will start moving again, but this time, whereas the Eight of Wands here and Eight of Spears here, that's movement that you're not in control of, you're moving into the time of the Chariot, where you are in control. You are Queen Daenerys riding the dragon. I assume she sat on the... Can't see her, but I assume she sat on the dragon there. So, if this means anything to you, Libra, comment down below. Please press subscribe while you're there. Your next reading, if I get the waning moon readings done in my schedule, I will. Other than that, your next reading out will be the new moon reading, unless I get time to do equinox and half the other astrological events that are going on. Come and join us on the Facebook group. As I say, if you want a reading, you can contact me directly there. Other than that, good luck with this. Have patience. But the first thing, do your research. That's what I'll call it. Do your research. Cheers.